Someone actually had messaged me and they said, Abba, I know you guys are covering a lot of racial topics, but I know with everything going on, it's so much, but I just wish things could go back to normal. What's so funny?
You're covering a lot of racist things, you know what I mean? But I wish things would go back to normal. It's pretty normal. That's just what it strikes me is all this is pretty fucking normal.
That's fair.
To go back to normal, it's the norm. It's just people are saying something about it, but it's like, what was normal? Nothing was ever normal.
Yeah. Yeah, these things were just happening. They just weren't on your screen. You know.
That's it.
Here's the thing. I don't want to cover this stuff. I don't want to talk about race. I don't want to cover incidents with police officers.
Nope.
Man, I just want to laugh at cringy stuff, talk about vulnerability and masculinity and all these other topics that I find are interesting. That's all I want to do. All right, I want to post stand-up stuff. That's all I care. But unfortunately, we live in a world where if we don't repost or discuss a tragic event, nothing happens. All right, take Breonna Taylor. With that no-knock warrant, cops go in there thinking there's going to be, narcotics. They don't find anything. The people inside the residence didn't know it was cops, so they start using their Second Amendment and firing back. You know, Breonna, the medic, she's killed. And now, because of all the uproar, because everyone's been so loud about it, they are banning no-knock warrants. But without that kind of social media presence, without us having to constantly hear these stories and constantly repost things, that kind of legislative change doesn't happen. You know, and it's unfortunate, but we've been quiet about a lot of these topics for a long time, and it's led us here. So the idea that by not talking about it, things will sometime go back to normal. Maybe normal is cool for you. Maybe normal sounds great to you, but for us, our sense of normal isn't the best. And I think the way we move forward as a world, as societies, is that we address our blind spots. We fix our problems and we all move forward together. But it makes no sense to me to not discuss these things because I just don't sleep well if I don't. It's important for us to engage in these conversations, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how redundant. You know, maybe there's another voice that hasn't heard this perspective. Maybe there's another person who needs to hear it from this perspective.
And I told you already. I told you before, like, I was not, like, I really didn't like the public outrage thing. I didn't like that. I'm like, it doesn't work. What are you doing that for? You're protesting for what? What was going to happen? I was one of those people. And then I saw what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Wow, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was dead wrong. Because the outrage worked. That's the reason why people are being held accountable. Public outrage. I really was not for it. Yeah. But then they proved me wrong.
Yeah. It's not a tenable situation. We can't keep relying on public outrage because there's too many things happening in too many places and people end up in the blind spots. Whether it's white victims of these issues, yellow, it doesn't matter, right? Sometimes they end up in the blind spot. But, you know, when I watched that Las Vegas video of that guy on the floor who was basically like, please don't, and he still got shot on, you know, that disturbed me as well. Didn't disturb me any less than any of the black shootings, you know? But we have to raise our voices and we have to say something. We have to. Because if we don't, then this kind of stuff keeps happening. You think I like the fact that I had to watch the Ahmaud Arbery video? That shit disturbed me. But everyone watching it and reposting it led to charges being filed within a couple of days. Does that make sense to you? Doesn't make sense to me. But it is the way the system works right now.
They shut down the case real quick. Real quick.
Yeah.
And then public outrage happened. Yeah. And then when we're fighting new evidence.
Moved, yeah.
We're fighting new evidence.
Quick things. You know, and it's not just that. There's so many instances. Even now Trump is signing an executive action on an executive order on police reform. Now, maybe it's not the best reform, maybe not, but things are moving. Things are changing. I'm not okay with all the changes. I'm not for everything, but to think that things can go back to normal. Normal for who? Normal for what? And is that normal really great? Maybe it was for you, but I can assure you for a lot of other people, it's an untenable situation. That's why people are protesting so hard. So just be mindful of that. Understand that your discomfort is not more important than people's right to live.
And the thing that happened is that when they say that I want things to go back to normal, normal is really when you didn't hear about it. But I heard about it. It was people from my neighborhoods, from my family's neighborhoods. For my family, whether it was in Canada, whether it was in the States, the natives that I know here, the natives that I know over there, I heard stories like that, even though it was not public. So normal means you didn't hear about it, but we constantly heard about something that's happening
Yeah.
to one of our family members or to one of us. So yeah, the normal thing, it's not really quite normal.
Yeah. Yeah, and you said it to me too. Also, like you don't want to cover this stuff.
I don't like, but you see my face every time we okay. So today's topic, and then you bring up the if I see cops in uniform one more time, bruv, like you see the way I like I'm done talking about it. It's like we have to talk about it. But the thing is that the it's not the work is not done.
Yeah.
It's not over.
You don't agree with Morgan Freeman
That
that in order to remove racism, we just have to not talk about it?
no, I don't agree with him.
No.
I understand why he says it though,
Yeah.
but no, I don't agree with him.
Yeah.
I understand that he doesn't want a Black History Month. I wouldn't want a Black History Month, but we don't live in that world where we don't need one. Unfortunately, we do. I wish we wouldn't have to need one.
Yeah.
I wish, but that's not the state that we lived in. You know, when I say that, you know, Black people are viewed as second class citizen. Black people are viewed as second class citizen. I don't mean that we actually are, but that's how we're viewed. I wish we weren't viewed that way, but it is what it is.
Yeah. You know, it is frustrating for me to even discuss race, not even along police lines, but just in general in my work.
Yes.
You know, when I go to a comedy club and then the comedy club owner says to me, "Oh, I can't have more than one black guy on the show because then it becomes a weird show." I was like, well, why not? You know what I mean? Like, do you even know what my set entails? Do you even know what I'm going to talk about? No,
Exactly.
but just the perception of my darkness affects my day-to-day
Right
job.
there.
And I've heard that. Bruv, how many times have I earned my spot on a comedy show or like a big, you know, big show at the biggest comedy festival in the world? And people are like, yeah, you're just a token dude that's supposed to be there. Bitch, what? First off, we had the best show out of everyone there, but everything always gets reduced to my race. So, you know, as much as I'd love to never talk about it again,
It's so present.
the world never lets me forget. And I tell this to preach all the time. Before I immigrated here, I did not think about my blackness. Before, when I was living in Ethiopia, because we were the norm, I did not think about it.
Because
But now
we-
that I live in a North American context, I'm constantly reminded of the fact that that affects people. When I walk through a convenience store and someone's following me, I can't just be like, it's because I'm an individual. No, it's on the basis of my race. And I have to understand how that's going to affect every interaction.
When you were in Ethiopia, you were the milk. You were the milk.
Yeah.
And here, you're the chocolate milk.
Yeah.
If I tell you to go to the store and go get some milk, I have to specify if I want chocolate or strawberry.
Yeah.
If I just want milk, go get me some milk.
Strawberry milk's a thing.
Yeah, strawberry milk is a thing.
Oh,
I know, weird. Still a fucking thing. You understand what I'm saying? It's still a thing.
I agree.
So, in Ethiopia, you were the milk. Here, not so much.
If you guys are enjoying today's video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that comment. Always helps us out with the algorithm.
The bell.
Keeps
You
us
can
growing.
ring my bell.
50% of you watching are not subscribed, so just hit that subscribe button. Make sure to not miss our daily videos. Yeah, even in my relationships, man. Do you think I want to look at race? No. But if I'm, let's say, for example, dating a white girl and she's going to introduce me to her parents, not mentioning the fact that I'm black before, I'm like, have that talk with them. She's like, why? What do you mean, why? They want to know. Trust me. No, they don't. I show up and it's a really racist interaction. It's unfair. It's not right. I don't want to think about it, but I have to think about it because I know it's going to affect my... Do you know how awkward it is to meet a man who opens the door and he's like, you're the one dating my daughter? And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I get these comments about my culture and my back. It's annoying. Bruv, I just want to be seen as an individual. When I join something, I just want to be seen for my skill set. I don't want to be the diversity hire. I don't want to think about these things.
I don't want to
It
be.
doesn't
I don't want to
please
be the
me.
checkbox.
It does, because I feel like I have real value. Like, you know, I am how tall I am. I don't care to get a woman to say, but you're so amazing. You're so tall. You're 6 feet. I don't give a shit. But if you compliment me and you see the value of me, who I am as an individual, it pleases me because that's something I've chosen to do and I work on every day. In that same token, I feel the same way about race. But unfortunately, it affects me. Unfortunately, it clouds every aspect of my existence. It does. When I go in for a lease, man, when I'm going in for a lease, I slam that shit on the table, and the guy's like, nah, I don't think I want to hire you. Then he finds out I'm a veteran. All of a sudden, it raises me. It's like, I see how, you know, on a societal level,
Veteran status is better
Yo.
than your black status.
Yo.
You was just a black dude,
Bruv.
but then you're a veteran black dude. You're a veteran.
Same
black
credit.
dude.
Same. I applied to 3 apartments. Got rejected for all 3 when I met the guy. This 4th guy was going to reject me as well. But I talked to him. He's like, what did you do for work? And then I went into the fact that I was in the army. He's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden he changed his mind. I'm like, I can't prove it's about that, but you can kind of feel it sometimes, right? It's just
Yo, I got
it just
the
sucks.
story. Yo, we had you know, we in my family, we had apartment blocks, right? And it's a story that always, like, I always remember that. I remember my parents going to the apartment block,
Right.
and they were just doing their thing over there, picking up the, you know, just sweeping, picking up the trash, just fixing things, and there's this lady that gets out of her apartment, and she's like, "Oh, so you're the concierge?" My mom is like, "No, She's like, "Oh, so nice to see you. You're the concierge lady. You're not the concierge because it means something. You're the maintenance lady. It's good to see you here. Thank you very much for doing the thing that you do." She's like, "No, I'm not the maintenance lady. We're not maintenance. We're the owners."
Yeah.
The minute she said that, my dad got shoved. My mom got called all kinds of N-words. The minute, because now it was that level. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, all of you are going to come here and take all of her job. Listen, Lucy, what job are you being stolen? You don't even have a Sec 3. Okay? And if you get passed by immigrants that come here and they're able to get an education without anything, without any contacts, with knowing the language, but having an accent, and they get your job, it's because you sucked.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that happened. There's a little level about this where oh yeah, be at your place, but now you're, you know, they don't. It happens. I don't want to talk about it, but that's the everyday life.
Yeah. So that's why we mention these things in these videos, and that's why we bring it up, because unfortunately it's part of our existence. I'm telling you, I don't want to talk about it.
Normal.
I tell you, I don't care about it.
You want to go back to normal life?
Like, whenever I'm sitting down with a girl and she wants to talk to me about race, I'm like, oh, I talk about this shit enough for my job. I don't want to talk about this shit. I'm exhausted of this conversation.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people come to me all the time with like, I'm so mad about race. And I'm like, I'm too tired to be angry today. I'm tired.
And that's a fact.
So, you know, I just wanted to share with you guys, like, that perspective. It's like, I assure you, I don't want to harp on this topic. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't. But unfortunately, it matters.
And some of you want to go back to normal. Well, I don't know normal.
Yeah. So now you guys are getting a glimpse of what our normal looks like. That's the reality. So anyways, we want to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree, disagree? Do you feel like we're doing too much? Whatever your thoughts may be, we'd love to hear them.